Hi and welcome to this month's health conversation. We will talk about 10 myths about omega-3 and vitamin D.
Because there are a lot of misconceptions out there, and today we'll break down 10 of the most common ones, so hopefully you will feel more confident when faced with this type of statements. Okay, so let's jump into it. First myth. Okay, so I eat healthy, so I don't need any food supplements.
This is something probably that you will hear from your customers or partners. Why should I take this? I eat very healthy, but you know, healthy is different for everybody. What is really healthy? And we also know that the food doesn't contain as much vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, nutrients as it did before.
And even on a national level, it's recommended to take vitamin D, for example, and we know no matter how healthy you eat, getting enough omega-3 is close to impossible.
Yes,
so
absolutely. So if you look at vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in general, they are difficult to consume, but even harder than with the vitamin D and also with the omega-3s. So for instance then, so we would like to say that everybody should use a supplement and supplement with their daily diet, even though if they eat quite healthy. That will be our recommendations.
So the next one is, if you eat healthy, then you don't need omega-3 supplements.
And again then, what is healthy? You would have to eat a lot of fish and fatty fish to be able to get enough omega-3 into your diet. And we know also that eating a lot of fish might not be so healthy as we might think as well. So there are few sources to omega-3 fatty acids.
In our diet, yes. So
Absolutely. Some people don't really eat much fish at all.
No.
So if they do, maybe it's like once or twice a week, or not even that. You know, people probably eat fish or fatty fish like once a month.
yeah,
And that will not be enough to get your omega-3 levels up.
no. So everyone, absolutely everyone needs an omega-3 supplement.
Yes, because we know that 95% approximately have very low levels of these important omega-3 fatty acids. And we know also that omega-6 is everywhere. So you find that in almost everything that we eat on a daily basis, while there are few sources of omega-3s. So yes, people would need to take omega-3 supplements even if they eat healthy.
Yeah. Okay, this is a very common one. And I've even heard doctors say this, that you don't need omega-3s or vitamin D supplements in the summer. And even, you know, in Norway, they say only take vitamin D in months with an R in them.
Yes, that's a common strange thing in Norway. So that's what we hear from real kids, like you don't need vitamin D or omega-3s just because now it's not the month with the R or this or so it's very confusing for people to understand. But we need this as well, of course, during the summer, both the omega-3s and the vitamin D, because we just mentioned that there are few sources of omega-3s in our diet.
And now we use so much sunscreen, and also, you know, it's not as effective when we're exposed to the sun. And I took my first omega-3 and vitamin D test last summer, and I was very surprised that my vitamin D levels were low, even though I feel like I'm a healthy person and I always take in omega-3 and vitamin D, but it was quite low. So
I think most people will have it like that as well. And also, and during the summertime, you will barbecue more. Not so much fish on the barbecue, I guess, as well. So people eat like lots of meat and potato salad. It contains lots of omega-6. So then it's very important also then to include it during the summertime. And like you said, with the clothes and the sunscreen and everything, the vitamin D3 might not be as efficient absorbed in the body. You might not get it so much. So it's equally important.
Yeah. And the only way to really know is to actually test.
Absolutely. So we recommend everybody to start taking more tests, like in general, take more of the omega-3 tests to check your levels. And also, of course, the vitamin D3 tests. Then you will be sure if you have high enough levels or not. So you can then monitor yourself and see how the sun exposure will benefit your body, or if you then need to take a supplement on the side, and mostly people will.
Okay, myth number 4. This is, I think this is often from people who don't have very much nutritional knowledge, but some will say, oh, all the omega-3s are the same. Most of us know it's a very big difference in both, you know, structure and function.
So yes, omega-6 and omega-3 are very different. So omega-6 and omega-3 are different. They are from different structures, as you say. They have a different build-up, so they look different in their structural molecule basis. And they also have different function in the body as well. We know that the omega-3 have these anti-inflammatory effects in the body, while when you have an over amount of omega-6, we will have this pro-inflammatory effects in the body. So when you have too much omega-6 in your diet and in your body, the cells will then start to send out signaling molecules telling the body that here is something wrong, there is inflammation here. So then you need the omega-3s to weigh that up so that these inflammation signals will stop.
Yeah.
And they also
balance.
Yes, this balance is so important. And they also come from different sources of food.
Yeah. Omega-6 is everywhere, really.
Yes.
It's in almost everything we eat.
Absolutely. You find it in if you look at what you eat on a daily basis, it will be almost everywhere, while the omega-3 will not. So that's very it's not very good.
Nope.
No, but they are both essential, and that's the key. They are very important, both of them. So we cannot have one without the other. But it's that what you said is it's the ratio and the balance between them that is the crucial part.
Myth number 5. So this is something you will sometimes hear, that all omega-3 supplements are the same, and this is a big misconception, because it's that large difference in the quality and the content of the omega-3 supplements you find, and you can really find some bad products out there. So it's we differ between like a natural oil and a concentrate, and you can have the liquid and the capsules. There will be a large variety in the levels of DHA and EPA, and you can have different sources.
Yes. Because omega-3 can come from many different sources. You can have from plant oils, like with alpha-linolenic acid, which is a plant-based omega-3.
Yeah.
You have from different krills, you have from algae, fish, so many different sources of the omega-3 as well.
And also, products can have like the complementing factors. Our olive oil, which we have added to our products. Complementing the fatty acid profile and the benefits of the oil.
Absolutely. So it's important to look at what else is in the product. Does it have, like if it's a concentrate, it doesn't have this full spectrum of fatty acids, for instance, and then it just contains almost the EPA and DHA. If you want a natural one, then you have all of that, especially in our oil. And also it's about sustainability, if the product is from a sustainable source as well. And when you talked about complementing factors, there's also like we have even more. We have the vitamin D, the vitamin A, and also the lutein as well. So then if we look closer at our product in general, the pure Arctic oils, we know that it's from a natural source. Yeah. So it's a natural, fresh, sustainable source.
In a liquid form.
Absolutely, and that's also very important.
For the best bioavailability.
Yes. And also the freshness is amazing. We know it has low TOTOX values. It's from this Norwegian sourced fish, MSC certified, and naturally high in EPA and DHA, which is pretty amazing. You get all of these things. In addition, you get quite high levels of natural EPA and DHA.
And now we know that we know about the EPA and DHA, but we're starting to look more into the other fatty acids from fish oil that are beneficial to our health. And in our pure article, we do have a full spectrum fatty acid profile, which we are very proud of.
Yes, and also the very, very long chain fatty acids, the polyunsaturated fatty acids, the ones that might have health benefits without being so much studied still. But we know that they have very interesting effects, so we're very happy to have this.
And then we also added the cold press extra virgin olive oil.
So important. That's like the big contributor to this being such a great product. The omega-3s, of course, but then you have this polyphenol-rich antioxidants in this natural form in the olive oil, which has so many positive health benefits in the body. So you actually have, like if you look at the normal pure Arctic oils, you have like 3-in-1. You have the omega-3s, you have the polyphenols, and the vitamin D3. So it's such an amazing combination.
It is. Okay, moving on to myth number 6. Okay, omega-3 fatty acids from food supplements are less well absorbed than omega-3 fatty acids from fish. Okay.
So people think that.
People think that if you get omega-3 from food, they will have a better bioavailability than from supplements. But this is...
Yeah, that might be a misconception because in general, fats are taken up very well in the body. So around 95 to 98% of what you eat in fat, even either from fish or from supplements, are taken up in the body.
Myth number 7, omega-3 make you gain weight. This is probably because, oil, also are fats, and they might have are higher in calories. And people are scared to take it because they think, okay, will I add calories to my diet and will I gain weight? I even heard doctors say this.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's pretty sad because the omega-3s are not used in that way. It's not used to make, fuel for the body or add on that, even though it contains calories, but it goes directly into all of the biological functions in the body where it's used for the cell membranes and all of this. So it's not directly calcium. We cannot think in that direction when it comes to omega-3s.
And we also know that people who take omega-3s, in general, they have a lower weight than people who don't.
Yes.
So
and there's so many reasons for that, among other the inflammation parts, that omega-3 is anti-inflammatory, and then it will then again affect the insulin sensitivity, and you don't reduce the chronic inflammation in the body, which again then can lead to a lower weight. So, and also we had a conversation about that. So if you're interested in weights and omega-3s, I recommend that you go and check that on as well. So actually taking omega-3 might help people to maintain a healthy weight.
All right, myth number 8. You only need omega-3 when you are older. Okay, I think this might come from that we know now with the cognitive decline that happens for many elderly people, and we know that omega-3s are beneficial on just maintaining your cognitive health, and that is true, but that's not only when you're older.
No. And what is older in a way? So no, omega-3s is needed through all stages of life. So if you think about it, it's needed even before a person is born.
Yeah.
So the mother needs to have efficient omega-3 levels in their body to be able to provide for the fetus, for the baby, to support the growth and development of the fetus.
All through life.
All through life. Yeah. So, and then of course we also know, for instance, that young female have low omega-3 levels. So that's also important for them to take it to support the fetus. And then growing up, you need it for growth, development, brain function, developing eye function, all of these things. All the way from a child until grave, if you can say it that way. We need omega-3 all the way.
Myth number 9. Omega-3 supplements work immediately. I have to tell you a funny story about this. We've been talking so much about omega-3 being anti-inflammatory. Yeah. And I have a friend who was he had not been taking omega-3 supplements before, but he was about to go out on an ultra marathon, actually a 24-hour run. And he thought that if he took lots of omega-3 just before his race, then he would not get like swollen feet or things like that. But no, it doesn't. No. It doesn't work right away.
No, it's not that instant effect that you get from taking omega-3s, even though we know it's anti-inflammatory and all, but it needs to be incorporated into all the cells in the body, and it has to have steady income or intake every day to be able to get this anti-inflammatory effect. It's not like instant, but still. And also, when we look at the tests, we say that it takes 120 days for the red blood cells to renew themselves, and that's when we take the before and after test, so you can see the before and after values. Yeah. So we will say around 4 months it will take before all the cells contain, or at least the vital cells, the red blood cells, contain the omega-3 levels.
Yeah, so daily intake over time is what decreases
absolutely.
Inflammation.
That's what gives the effect, not the instant one. But it's good that he tried at least, and hopefully he continued to take it.
So, last myth, okay. Myth number 10, fish oil supplements are just like fish themselves and are polluted with harmful substances such as PCBs, dioxin and heavy metals. Okay, so because we do know that when you do eat fish, you will often get some parts that we...
Yeah, because fish contains these environmental pollutions. It will do it in a certain degree, depending on where it's fished, how it's fished, and where it's from. So, of course, it will. But when we press the oil from the fish, it goes through many, many refining steps. And these refining steps take away the impurities from the fish oil.
Yeah.
So eating fish oil cannot be compared to eating fish in terms of like environmental contaminants and everything. And also have very strict rules for purity and also safety, quality. And these have to be followed in order to put a product on the market. And we know that our product is very, very pure. And you can also find the reports online as well, where we have shown all the results for these types of unwanted substances.
So the supplements are actually the safest way of taking an omega-3
safest way to
supplement.
get your omega-3s and safest way to avoid all of these environmental contaminants that you do not want.
And we do test our products
test
all
our
the
products
time to
all
make
the
sure
time.
that there are no harmful substances in our products.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was 10 myths
Yes.
about omega-3 and vitamin D3. So, to sum it all up, our diet is not sufficient to get all the nutrients we need. So everyone needs omega-3, everyone needs vitamin D3, and most of us also need more supplements. The key is to take omega-3 every day, all year.
Yes, absolutely.
All through your life. And
the same with vitamin D3 as well.
Yes.
So then everybody go take your omega-3s, even in the summertime, and have a lovely summer.